Sergej Koperdak from the European Commission. We're here to Fondation EurActiv Stakeholder Workshop, and you've just been taking part. The subject really relates to youth policy. Would you explain a little about what the Commission's doing in terms of youth policy at the moment?
Well, as we all know, youth has become very high on the political agenda at EU level in recent months. Youth policy is an area that I'm responsible for in my unit. We have launched at the start of this year something called the EU Youth Strategy. It will last from 2010 to 2018. It consists of a framework cooperation between the 27 EU member states where we're going to work together, try to develop youth policies in a variety of different fields that serve young people's needs.
How successful do you think it can be?
I think it can be very successful. I mean, raising awareness on the importance of youth, the value of young people in our society is needed. The strategy is cross-sectoral. We're going to work in areas as diverse as employment, education, volunteering, participation. We even have a component dealing with international affairs where we encourage young people to speak out on global issues on the world stage. So it's quite diverse, quite varied. Of course, we are in a time of economic crisis, and with the new flagship initiative, Youth on the Move, which is another youth initiative, we'll see hopefully a lot of progress in terms of employment and education.
It would seem actually, when you mention employment and education, with the backdrop of financial crisis, those are the real areas
those are the burning priorities at the moment. But I do want to highlight that in order to craft policies regarding employment and education, it's important to have young people's voice heard. Because if you want to craft those policies, you want to make sure that they're in tune with young people really need and what they're looking for, hence the importance of participation. And the EU Youth Strategy, at the basis of that strategy, is participation. Hence, we have many conferences. We have something called structured dialogue, where we talk directly with young people, mainly through their youth organizations, although we are making efforts to reach out to the mass youth. But we are trying to talk to young people so that we can we are talking to young people to create better policies in a variety of areas that serve their needs. That's the key. So employment, education, important. We have some strategies developed in Youth on the Move. You see a lot of various sub-initiatives in there. But we want to implement and craft these initiatives in consultation with young people.
For those watching this that aren't familiar with Youth on the Move, would you explain what that is?
Youth on the Move is, as I mentioned, a flagship initiative. It's part of the EU 20, the grand strategy for the next 10 years. Again, we mentioned the economic crisis. The focus is mainly on education and employment. There is a mention of active participation of young people, and there are a variety of measures there in terms of encouraging the skilling of young people, the recognition of non-formal education. That's something that's worth mentioning. There is an emphasis on formal education. We do want to have the best universities and schools and colleges and so on.
You mean volunteering, don't you?
Yes, we want to recognize other forms of education. There's the formal, there are diplomas and so on, but there are also the non-formal education opportunities like volunteering. And next year is the European Year of Volunteering, so we're going to see a lot of awareness raised regarding that. And we believe young people can learn a lot. They can learn new languages, particularly if they go cross-border. So through volunteering, they can learn new languages. They can learn organizational skills, communication skills, people skills. It's all about skilling. So there's certain things you learn in the classroom, which we consider extremely important. But employers today, and also in terms of personal self-development, in terms of democracy, people skills, organizational skills, these are things, soft skills that are very much developed in a non-formal context. So we see complementarity between formal and non-formal. We want to encourage both.